All right, aloha. Hope you're doing well. We're here on day 5. We're going to do the see, hear, feel technique. So as you can imagine, it's a combination of what we've learned over the last few days. We did a tour of the see, hear, and feel senses, got used to each category individually. And now we're going to combine that into a single technique where we're going to be exploring all three sensory categories. Matter of fact, we're not going to be really drawing our attention to anything purposefully. We're going to allow our attention to free float and just notice where it lands, maybe kind of soaking in and dialing in on whatever our attention lands on, but then labeling it in our head, whether it's in the see category, the hear category, or the feel category. So I hope that makes sense. It'll be clarified some more during the practice, but basically, we're just going to allow our attention to free float, just go wherever till it lands on something. And whatever it lands on, whatever kind of draws our attention, we notice which category it is in, see, hear, or feel. You can label it. And at the same time, focus in on it. So if you see something, you focus in on it and try and get into the details of what you see. And in your mind, you say see. Or if you hear something, you kind of tune your ear towards what you're listening to. You can use the mental label hear to identify you're in the hear category, but then you kind of tune in to the finer contour of whatever that noise is, whether it's coming and going or intermittent or consistent, and you kind of tune into that noise. And then as as you're doing that, you've labeled it here, and then you release that. And then you see where your attention goes next. And it doesn't have to go in any order. It can go from here to see to feel to feel. There's no prescribed method or order it goes. You just allow your attention to free float. Notice where it lands, which sensory category that is. Label it, whichever sensory category it is, and then focus in on whatever that which drew your attention is for 3 to 9 seconds before releasing and seeing where it goes next. Just a pointer. It's okay if it goes back to the same thing over and over, as long as we're releasing and it returns back to the same thing. That's fine. That's not a problem. And also, there can be maybe a lot of things going on in all three categories. That's not an issue either. You just pick one, right? Whichever one draws your attention and go with that one. Label it, soak into it for a while, and release it. So you don't have to try and capture this and that and this and that. We're just plodding along. See, oh, hear, oh, feel, kind of at that pace. Just tracking where it goes. Like I said, it doesn't have to go in any order, just whatever comes up for you naturally. Hopefully that works. We'll see you on the other side. All right, here we go. See, hear, feel. I invite you to stretch up and settle in with a nice deep breath. Hopefully, you were able to sit upright if possible. If not, that's all right. However you show up today works. This technique is an open-eyed or closed-eyed technique, so whatever your preference is. I'm going to go ahead and start with open. And it's very simple. We just notice what draws our attention in any of the three sensory categories, whether there's something off in the distance making noise that we hear, something that we see directly in front of us, or maybe we feel something. Whatever shows up for you right now, just notice what it is, which category it is in. You can even use a label of see, hear, or feel to help reinforce and soak into that experience, whatever it is. And when I say soak in, I mean if you're seeing, you look closely at the details of it, whether it's a fine point or a zoomed out, all taking in a large, expansive view. We're noticing all the details of it. Or feeling, you're just really feeling into whatever the sensation is. Or hearing, you're listening to the sounds, the tones, the contours, the rises, the falls. You're getting sensory clarity. on whatever your objective focus is. I'll let you give it a try. And after a few beats, you just release it from wherever it was kind of dialed in and see where your attention goes next. Now, whatever it lands on, you just notice which sensory category it is and label it, see, hear, or feel, and then explore that sensory experience for 3 to 9 seconds. And you just repeat this process. After exploring an experience for a while, you release. See what else draws your attention, and then soak into that for a while before releasing. Don't forget the inner side of see, hear, feel is included as well. So if it feels like your mind starts to wander or you start to daydream, as soon as you notice that, you note which sensory category it's in. Was I imagining some picture in my mind? Well, that would be see. And you just note for a few seconds and release. Or was I thinking a dialogue, had questions in my mind arising? Well, I was just here. You just notice those thoughts are in the here sensory category. And just like other noises, you explore the contour of the thoughts more than the content. And the inner side of feel was feelings. So if there were any feelings that drew your attention, you can just explore them to the best of your ability. Get some sensory clarity on it. Label it feel, and then release. Repeat this pattern at your own pace. Pattern of noting which sensory category it is in, labeling which sensory category it is in, and then soaking into the experience before releasing and moving on. Doing great. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. So wherever you're at, eyes closed, you can open them now and bring your attention back here if you're out looking around. And we'll end it right there. Thanks. Um, just a quick note, this might be your first time opening up to all 3 categories at the same time. Can be cause for confusion or a lot of activity or maybe no activity, but uh, you know, don't worry about capturing every single see, hear, feel that comes up. It's just noticing one, soaking into it for a while, and then releasing it, and free floating between all three sensory categories to the best of your ability. And we're going to be doing this a couple more days, so don't worry. This was on the shorter end, but a couple more days practice of this, and you'll be a veteran. And then we'll take it out onto the street. All right. So, congratulations. You did another day. Let's keep moving along. See you tomorrow.